My boyfriend made a 30-year-old promise to his ex. I found out 7 days before his 30th birthday. Chapter 1. My boyfriend Nathan loves to party, always saying boys will be boys, no matter their age. So even though our son is already 5, he insists on waiting until he's 30 to get married. I kept compromising because I loved him. Until I accidentally discovered Nathan and his ex, Madison, his first love, had made a pact. If they were both still single at 30, they'd marry each other. Nathan's 30th birthday was in 7 days. I didn't cry or make a scene. I just took my 5-year-old son and left. At the reunion dinner, I arrived half an hour late because I had to pick up my son from daycare. Just as I reached the private dining room, I heard someone ask Nathan, "Are you really settling down? Giving up on Madison for good and marrying Rachel?" Hearing my name, I instinctively stopped before opening the door. She gave me a son. She's been patient all these years, never demanding. She'll make a good wife. That voice was too familiar, me boyfriend Nathan. Then I heard someone else ask, "But didn't you and Madison have that pact about turning 30? Your 30th birthday is still a week away. What if you get married and Madison comes back?" I heard Nathan answer, "Madison posted on Instagram yesterday. She got married abroad." Then came the sound of a glass hitting the table hard, like someone venting frustration. The sound hit me like a sledgehammer to the head. I appeared suddenly in Nathan's life. At a college party, I fell for him at first sight. So I pursued him relentlessly, confident he'd eventually fall for me too. Until I saw his first love, that girl named Madison Clark. Apparently, Nathan had been chasing her for a year by then. Madison was a typical rich girl with countless admirers. But she claimed not to believe in love, rejecting everyone, including Nathan. She even told me to my face, "Immature party boys like him only appeal to naive girls like you. I find him completely useless." Later, she chose to study abroad. And Nathan agreed to date me. Until one accident led to an unplanned pregnancy. The day I decided to get an abortion, he cornered me and begged me to keep it. He promised that on his 30th birthday, he'd marry me and give us a real family. According to our agreement, in 7 days his 30th birthday'd become my legal husband. I didn't push open the door or keep listening. I just left with my 5-year-old. That's when Nathan called, "Rachel, where are you and Tyler? The dinner's almost over." I was silent for a moment before lying for the first time. Tyler wasn't feeling well, so I took him home. "Oh, is Tyler okay? If it's nothing serious, I'm going to hit the bars with the guys." Nathan's tone showed no concern for our son. I'd long suspected Nathan didn't really love me or Tyler. When we registered Tyler's birth certificate, he had Tyler take my last name. Thinking of this, I told Nathan, "Tyler's fine. Go have fun." Nathan said okay and hung up. I put down my phone and without hesitation, canceled our courthouse appointment for 3 days later. They say mothers and children share a connection. Tyler sensed my mood change. He said, "Mommy, are you and Daddy going to separate?" I looked down at Tyler. "How would you feel about living with just Mommy from now on?" Tyler looked confused. "Mommy, hasn't it always been just the two of us at home?" His words struck my heart and solidified my resolve. I decided to take my son and leave him for good. Chapter 2. Back at the house. After getting Tyler to sleep, I went to the balcony and called my mom. "Mom, I'm not marrying Nathan. I'll pack our things and bring Tyler home in a few days." On the other end, Mom was silent for a moment, then sighed, "Okay, your father and I will be waiting." She didn't ask why. Maybe she understood better than I did how much I'd endured these years. I started packing Tyler's old clothes and toys. Just as I finished, Nathan came home reeking of alcohol. Seeing me still up with several black garbage bags on the floor, he paused. "Why are you still up? What are you cleaning?" I looked up at him seriously, "Just throwing out some rotten things. Like this rotten relationship between Nathan and me." Nathan froze slightly. I ignored him, carrying the garbage bags outside. When I returned, Nathan was in the shower. I went to Tyler's room and for the first time, slept separately from Nathan. Unable to sleep, I opened my phone. I saw a trending topic on Twitter. A local account had gone viral. The posts contained countless intimate photos of a woman and a man. The two people were Madison and Nathan. In these photos, I saw what I'd never seen in Nathan's eyes when he looked at me. Deep affection and tender gazes. Each photo was carefully labeled with time and location. The latest post was a man's diary entries, densely written. If the photos gave me a sliver of hope, now I was completely certain. I recognized Nathan's handwriting. The diary detailed his love for Madison. From 18 to 23, over 1,800 days and nights, chronicling his deep feelings for her. The comments were full of envy. So this is what being loved feels like. BRB, breaking up with my boyfriend. This guy is mine now. I silently opened our text messages, staring at Nathan's chat window. Our last conversation was from a week ago. Tyler was sick that day, calling for his daddy. I couldn't reach Nathan by phone, so I texted asking him to come to the hospital. But Nathan never showed up, not even after Tyler was discharged. Not even a simple text asking how he was. Later Nathan explained he'd been busy and forgot that he hadn't intentionally ignored Tyler. Just a simple excuse to brush me off. I closed my phone and looked at Tyler beside me. I couldn't tell if I felt more bitter or sad. Nathan's 30th birthday was coming up. Was he exposing this diary now to pressure me not to marry him? He could have just told me directly. I never planned to cling to him anyway. I got up to confront him, but just as I cracked the door, I heard voices outside. Ryan, what the hell are you doing? The diary's trending. Delete that post now. Ryan was the guy talking to Nathan at dinner. The room was quiet, so I clearly heard the man's voice on the phone. He said, Nathan, I'm doing this for you. Madison doesn't know everything you've done for her. Now that she's seen it, if she's moved, she might agree to be with you. Are you really willing to spend your life with Rachel? Nathan stayed silent outside. My heart sank completely. Chapter 3. For a moment, I wanted to burst out and confront Nathan. Ask why after I'd pursued him so long, he still didn't love me. Why, if he didn't love me, did he want me to have his child and promise to marry me? Why? I had too many questions. But I calmed down. The answers didn't matter anymore. Love can't be forced. No matter how good I was to Nathan, his heart still belonged to Madison. So I'd stop being good to him. I quietly closed the door and returned to Tyler's side. Looking at Tyler, my heart suddenly filled with hope again. Though I wasn't happy, I'd make sure Tyler always was. The next morning, after dropping Tyler at preschool, I returned home. Nathan was sitting on the living room couch, apparently waiting for me. I was confused. Why aren't you at work? Nathan stood and took my hand. I took the day off. Realized I haven't spent time with you in ages. Let's go shopping. Before I could refuse, he pulled me to the car. At the mall, Nathan was inexplicably enthusiastic. He kept having salespeople help me try on various jewelry. And seriously asking if I liked them. This gentle behavior reminded me of when we first started dating. Even the salespeople gushed, "Ma'am, your boyfriend is so good to you." Their envious looks made me momentarily dazed. As if Nathan and I really were a loving couple. But I quickly sobered up. At checkout, Nathan kept reminding them to wrap everything carefully. Seeing my confused look, he smiled and explained. A friend is coming back from overseas this Saturday. These are gifts for her. You have better taste than me, so I wanted your help choosing. Oh, would you like to come with me to meet her? I froze, looking at the luxury brand logos, and smiled ironically. It's Madison, right? This is Madison's favorite brand. At my words, both Nathan and the salesperson's faces changed. I looked away and left immediately. Nathan chased after me, "Rachel, it's not what you think. Madison and I are over. She's coming back for other reasons." Nathan explained a lot, but I didn't hear another word. Suddenly, he stopped and pointed to a Japanese restaurant. "How about we get lunch? I remember you love their teriyaki chicken." I calmly pulled my hand back. "You're wrong. I can't eat marinated foods. The one who likes marinated foods is still Madison." I didn't say that last part. But from Nathan's frozen reaction, he realized it too. Silence spread between us. I forced a smile. "Nathan, do you even remember how we first met?" Chapter 4. Nathan opened his mouth but ultimately said nothing. In fact, I didn't expect him to answer. I said nothing more and left the mall. When I got home, Nathan apologetically said, "Sorry, I used to be too immature to pay attention to anything. After we're married, I'll remember everything you like." I didn't take it to heart, just nodded perfunctorily. Seeing this, he seemed relieved and volunteered to pick up Tyler. This was the first time he'd ever picked Tyler up from school. I watched his retreating figure and could only laugh coldly. That evening, after getting Tyler to sleep, Madison, whom I hadn't heard from in ages, sent me a message. It was a blurry video. In the video, Nathan's face looked young but his voice was firm. "Madison, no matter when, if you're willing to come back to me, I'll drop everything to take your hand." The next second, the bedroom door opened. Nathan walked in. The voice from my phone cut off abruptly. I instinctively handed Nathan my phone, wanting to ask about the video. But Nathan just said confusedly, "What are you showing me?" "There's nothing there." I looked at Madison's chat again. The video had been recalled. Seeing my silence, Nathan didn't pursue why Madison had messaged me. He just looked at the sleeping Tyler and lowered his voice. "Rachel, I have to go on a business trip for a few days. I'll bring gifts for you and Tyler." After a pause, Nathan seemed to remember something and added, "Don't worry, I haven't forgotten we're getting married in 5 days. I'll be back that morning. Wait for me." With that, he left without giving me a chance to speak. I didn't chase after him, just whispered softly, "But Nathan, I won't wait for you anymore." I took out my phone and booked the earliest flight for 5 days later. Over the next few days, I withdrew Tyler from preschool. Then took him to the amusement park for a whole day of fun. Finally, I shipped all our belongings back to my parents' house. Soon, it was the day we'd agreed to get married. Tyler and I got up early. When our taxi reached the airport, it was exactly 9 a.m. when the courthouse opened. Nathan called, his voice serious. "Rachel, something urgent came up. Wait for me. I'll definitely make it before the courthouse closes at 5 p.m. I didn't answer, just hung up and held Tyler's hand tightly as we walked to the departure gate. Before the plane took off, I sent Nathan one last message. "Nathan, this is where we end. Don't contact me again." After sending it, I blocked him on everything. 3 hours later, Tyler and I landed in my hometown. My parents picked us up. The 4 of us had a family dinner together. It was the happiest day I'd had since being with Nathan. After That, I was busy getting Tyler enrolled in school. When I finally had a moment to rest, I realized I'd been away from Nathan for half a month. Just when I thought our lives would never intersect again. I ran into one of Nathan's friends at the grocery store. The friend who'd posted Nathan's diary online, trying to get him and Madison together. Rachel Chen. What are you doing here? Do you know Nathan's been going crazy looking for you? Why didn't you show up at the courthouse? Didn't you always want to marry Nathan? Was playing games with him fun? I just wanted to laugh coldly. Who played whom? I gave my whole heart for years, only to get Nathan's. She gave me a son. She's been patient all these years, never demanding. She'll make a good wife. I stepped back, frowning coldly. Nathan's business has nothing to do with me. With that, I turned and left. Back home, I had a feeling Nathan would find me. I just didn't expect it to be so soon. Chapter 5. 3.5 hours later, there was a knock at the door. Nathan stood outside looking haggard, his red eyes like he might cry any second. Rachel, I finally found you. I instinctively stepped back, frowning. We broke up. Why are you looking for me? Nathan seemed hurt by my reaction, his voice becoming sadder. Rachel, I waited for you at the courthouse for so long. Why didn't you come? We agreed to get married that day, didn't we? He looked like the victim, as if he was the one who'd been abandoned. I was confused. Nathan had always loved Madison, hadn't he? Why was he suddenly so passionate about me? Madison's back, isn't she? Aren't you worried she'll misunderstand you chasing after your ex like this? I said it calmly, but Nathan seemed to interpret it differently. After a pause, he said gravely, what do you mean? When did I get together with Madison? Did you break up with me because of her? He paused again, seeming to realize something, speaking excitedly. Rachel, you left because you were jealous, right? Nathan's eyes were red. As if he'd already decided what I was thinking, continuing, Madison and I are history. Besides, she's married. How could I still be with her? And the person I love is you. Before he could finish, a man's voice came from behind. Rachel, do we have a guest today? Ethan West nodded at Nathan while holding Tyler's hand, then walked inside. Whether it was Ethan calling me by name or Tyler ignoring him, something triggered Nathan. He froze momentarily, then said incredulously, who is he? Rachel Chen, you're openly cheating. Saying this, he tried to grab Tyler's hand. Tyler is my son. How can he be held by your lover? Tyler was scared by the scene and started crying. Ethan immediately shielded Tyler and me behind him, so you're Tyler's irresponsible father. Nathan scanned us all, gritting his teeth. Rachel Chen, I need an explanation. Ethan looked at me, need me to stay? He seems emotionally unstable. I stepped forward, giving Ethan a reassuring look. Ethan, wait inside with Tyler. There are things I need to say to him alone. I took Nathan to the nearest coffee shop. As soon as we sat down, he asked directly, why did you break up with me that day? Just because I had an emergency and couldn't get married immediately? Chapter 6. I looked away at the scenery outside, murmuring, let's say that's the reason. Nathan was clearly unsatisfied with my answer. Rachel Chen, what do you take me for? We agreed to get married on my 30th birthday. Why did you change your mind so suddenly, leaving with just a text? Looking at his angry face, I found it laughable. What did I take him for? All these years, I never asked what he took me for. Now he was asking me instead. I laughed coldly. Nathan, if you're here to blame me and put all the responsibility for ending this relationship on me, I have nothing to say. I stood to leave. As I passed Nathan, he suddenly grabbed my hand. Rachel, we've been together so many years. Our son is 5. You're leaving me over something so trivial? Or did you always want to leave? When did you and Ethan get together? You think a man like him won't care about your past? And Tyler, no matter what, I'm still Tyler's biological father. I'll always treat him better than a stranger, won't I? Rachel, I know you're angry I didn't go to the courthouse with you that day, but I did rush there later. I genuinely want to build a life with you. Please come back. You've waited all these years. Why couldn't you wait just half a day more? Ignoring his expression, I pulled my hand away finger by finger, speaking seriously. Nathan, do you know how long I waited for you? 9 years. 9 whole years. Before Tyler, I kept waiting for you to notice me. After Tyler, I kept waiting for your promise, for your 30th birthday when we could get married. I waited excitedly for that day, and what happened? You abandoned us again and again for another woman. In your heart, Madison always came before Tyler and me. Since that's the case, you shouldn't marry me while Madison's still in your heart. Nathan stood, blocking my path, desperately denying, Madison's not in my heart. I genuinely want to build a life with you. I've been looking at honeymoon destinations, wedding venues. I've been planning our future. I looked up. Maintaining eye contact. Nathan, stop pretending. I heard everything you said to your friend that day. You don't want to marry me because you love me. You just think I'm quiet and suitable for marriage. Nathan's face went pale instantly. Chapter 7. I continued with a cold laugh. I also saw your diary to Madison on social media. Page after page filled with your love for her. It made me realize you're not incapable of loving someone, you just don't love Tyler and me. Remember when Tyler had a fever? He lay in the hospital bed refusing to sleep, waiting for you. I called you countless times but couldn't reach you, so I texted asking you to come. But you didn't show up until after Tyler was discharged. In your diary, you weren't like that with Madison. You know everything happening in Madison's life abroad, but you don't know anything about what happens to Tyler at preschool each day. You've never attended his parent-teacher conferences, never picked him up, don't even know what happens to him daily. But you know every detail of Madison's life abroad. You think Tyler still needs a father like you? Nathan stood frozen. So, you were always planning to leave me? I smiled. Yes, from the moment you started ignoring Tyler and me, I began losing hope in you bit by bit. Nathan desperately explained, I just habitually paid attention to Madison. After she went abroad, I knew we were impossible. I wouldn't plan our future if I still liked her. Please believe me, Rachel. I shook my head. No, you don't like me. You're just temporarily uncomfortable. After all, I used to take such good care of you. Now there's no one like me. So I'm officially telling you we're broken up. There's no possibility for us anymore. Nathan clenched his fists in disbelief, his voice becoming dejected again. Rachel, I don't want to break up. After all these years, how can you just abandon me? I'll change right now. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have ignored you and Tyler. Let's go back to how we were. Please don't break up with me. Looking at his pitiful expression, my heart ached momentarily. But I knew this would be the last time I hurt because of him. He said he was planning our happy future. Wasn't I doing the same? All these years, as an unwed mother, enduring people's strange looks, I swallowed all the hurt. But I remained devoted, just waiting for his 30th birthday. In the end, I got nothing. Just a belly full of grievances, disappointment, and pain. I didn't linger. Nathan, you should go. We can never go back. Chapter 8. Nathan seemed truly determined, refusing to leave. He lingered around my house. Every day. Leaving flowers at the door in the morning, Tyler's favorite toys in the evening. When Tyler went to preschool, Nathan would watch through the fence. He'd introduce himself to the principal as Tyler's father. He'd even buy snacks and ask the security guard to deliver them to Tyler's class. He did these things rain or shine, as if trying to make up for how he'd hurt Tyler and me. But I still refused to see him, and Tyler refused to acknowledge him as dad. Gradually, it became Nathan's one-man show. Other parents and teachers at the preschool would gossip, asking Tyler and me who Nathan was. Tyler just stayed silent. I answered directly, my ex. Though they said nothing, their pitying looks grew more obvious. This continued for 2 months. Until Ethan returned from his business trip. What was supposed to be a 6-month project, he'd compressed into 2 months. He was my childhood friend who'd grown up next door, always claiming he'd marry me when we played house as kids. But after high school, his parents sent him abroad for college. I remember the day he left. He said, Rachel, when I can control my own destiny, I'll come back to marry the girl I love. Back then, I just laughed and teased him about being love-struck. I never imagined when we'd meet again, over a decade would have passed. I was now a single mother, and he was still single. Ethan came on a weekend evening, holding flowers at my door. Rachel, I've only loved you all these years. Will you marry me? A simple, direct confession. And Nathan happened to witness it all. Nathan dropped what he was holding and ran over frantically. Rachel, don't say yes. Before he could finish, his steps suddenly halted. Because I took the flowers and said, yes, I will. Ethan excitedly pulled me into his arms. Perfect. We went inside together, leaving Nathan alone outside. From dusk until late night, he stubbornly stood at the door, silent. Tyler pressed against the bay window, asking curiously, Mommy, why won't Uncle Nathan leave? I was surprised by how Tyler addressed Nathan. I remembered when Tyler was just over a year old, he used to cling to Nathan, following him around calling, Daddy, in his baby voice. But Nathan wasn't warm to him, eventually only coming home after Tyler was asleep. Yet Tyler still felt attached to Nathan, sometimes stubbornly waiting up for him. Until he grew older and seemed to understand Nathan didn't like him, gradually stopping his attempts to get close. I never expected. Guilt suddenly washed over me. Tyler seemed to sense my emotional change, saying, Mommy, he doesn't like Tyler. Tyler won't call him Daddy anymore. He's not Tyler's daddy. Thinking of how Nathan had treated Tyler, I decisively opened the door and told Nathan below, Nathan, Tyler and I don't need you anymore. You should go. Chapter 9. Nathan still stood there, unwilling to leave. But when I got up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night and glanced outside, he'd left at some point. For the next month, he didn't appear again. Just when I thought I was finally free of Nathan, his mother called. Though Tyler and I hadn't lived at the Brooks family home, Mrs. Brooks often visited and looked after us. For old time's sake, I answered her call. Rachel, I know I have no right to call you now, but I'm really at my wit's end. Nathan drinks himself unconscious every day. No one can talk sense into him. The company's falling apart. I'm worried something terrible will happen if this continues. Could you please, for the sake of how I treated you before, come talk to him? Mrs. Brooks sounded humble and desperate. I remained firm. Mrs. Brooks, I've made things very clear with Nathan. We have no relationship anymore. Please tell him to stop bothering me. I won't see him. As soon as I finished, I heard the sound of breaking glass on the other end. Before Mrs. Brooks could speak again, I hung up decisively. Turning around, I bumped into Ethan. He sighed deeply. Rachel, let me go with you to see him. I know I can't interfere or forgive anything for you, but since we're married now, this needs proper closure. After a long silence, I finally booked flights to Nathan's city. Mrs. Brooks was delighted to see me. Rachel, I knew you wouldn't be so heartless. But Ethan's appearance made her eyes widen. Ethan introduced himself. Hello, Mrs. Brooks, I'm Rachel's husband. Before he could finish, a loud crash came from the stairway. I instinctively walked toward the sound. A glass had shattered on the floor, and Nathan was leaning against the stair railing, drinking. One hand held a bottle, mumbling incoherently. But the next second, Nathan's drunken expression sobered. He saw me standing downstairs. Then he stumbled down the stairs. Rachel, you came? When did you get here? Why didn't you tell me so I could pick you up? I said calmly, just arrived. In your condition, you couldn't have picked me up anyway. Nathan's eyes instantly reddened. Have you forgiven me? I knew you wouldn't abandon me. I remember you hate when I drink. Let me shower and then we'll talk. With that, he rushed to the bathroom. Watching his panicked retreat, I just wanted to laugh. So Nathan always knew I hated his drinking. Coming home drunk before was just because he didn't care. I was suddenly grateful I hadn't wasted more time on him. When Nathan came out again, Ethan was putting Tyler to bed. Nathan's face went pale. Ethan West, why are you here? I said directly, Nathan. I forgot to tell you. Ethan and I got our marriage certificate. We're legally husband and wife. Chapter 10. Nathan froze. After a pause, I continued, after leaving you, I learned that no matter who I am, someone will still love me unconditionally. I never told you before when you never came home, when you ignored Tyler, I always thought I wasn't considerate enough, not gentle enough. I kept thinking if I was better to you, even better, you'd finally pay attention to Tyler and me for a moment. But nothing changed. After leaving you, I realized it wasn't my fault. It was the person. So now I've moved on. I believe you're the same even without me, you'll be fine. Nathan was already in tears. He shook his head frantically. No, without you and Tyler, what's the point of my life? We've been together 9 years. I never imagined life without you. I was such an ass before, ignoring your feelings. I'll definitely change. Please divorce him. Yes, he always knew he'd been an ass, but there's no magic pill for regret. Time only moves forward, never backward. That day, he kept crying until we left. Perhaps Nathan finally understood that all these years, my kindness to him had been depleting our relationship. I returned home and resumed a regular life. Whenever Ethan had time, he'd take Tyler and me out. Amusement parks, beaches, parks. Places that used to have just Tyler and me now included Ethan. And Tyler gradually accepted this new dad. On Tyler's first day of elementary school, I saw Nathan again. He'd gotten much darker, I almost didn't recognize him. He didn't hide anything. There were some internal issues at Brooks Corporation plus mom's chronic condition flared up. She can't handle stress and needs bed rest. I've been sleeping at the office handling everything. I nodded, exchanged pleasantries, and prepared to leave. Nathan called out, if Tyler needs anything in the future, you can still call me. I paused. I only called because Tyler's school records needed his biological father's signature. Thank you for coming to sign. Nathan smiled bitterly. Tyler's my biological son. As his father, I never did anything for him before. It's time I fulfilled my obligations. He handed me a bank card. I'll deposit money monthly for Tyler's support. I didn't refuse. As I was leaving, he added, can I come see you and Tyler sometimes? I neither nodded nor shook my head. I can't decide for Tyler, but he probably doesn't want to see you anymore. Nathan smiled bitterly. Okay, I should go too. Goodbye. I turned and left. At the first grade classroom door, Tyler excitedly came out holding another child's hand. Mommy, this is my new friend. From today. Can I bring him home tomorrow to meet Dad Ethan? I smiled and nodded. Sure, he'll be very happy. I suddenly remembered years ago, when Tyler first started preschool, he'd excitedly wanted to introduce his friends to Nathan. But day after day, Nathan never showed up, and Tyler gradually gave up on loving him. Fortunately, times had changed. This would never happen again. Tyler and I would both embrace our beautiful future.